I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And I'm not perfect, but I still make the decision that make my life still worth it. Hey, hey. But I know what you see and what it's gonna be, 'cause I know my worth. Hey, hey. Ass hanging out the ass hanging. All right. Okay. What up, y'all? Happy Mercy. I hope you're doing well. I am the truth, and you are too. Welcome to this week's Mercury Day Energy Reading. Everything you need to know pertaining to me and my services is located in the description box of this video below. For this week's Mercury Day Energy Reading, I'll be channeling with the ancestors of the collective who are supporting the collective high good and the ice good, obviously. So yeah, it's gonna be the ancestors of the collective, and it's gonna be probably like, personally y'all ancestors who come through and everything like that. Yeah, so if you hear an extra sound during this reading, I apologize in advance. Life is life, and I don't handle if it gets too much. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I much appreciate. It's helpful. And let's begin this week's Mercury Day Energy Reading. Oh yeah, and okay, yeah, it's gonna be the void again. It's gonna be the void of this table again. I promise. I'm gonna sort through my stuff or whatnot. But yeah, I don't feel like doing it right now. I'm gonna do it. But yeah, all my stuff is in my vending container. So I gotta go through there and organize it. And then I'll take out the tapestry I usually have on the table. I'm gonna do it tonight. I'm gonna actually do it tonight. I'm gonna force myself. Also, this week, I'm not gonna do any topics. I've been wanting to do that for a while. And then like it came up again, it'll come up and then I'll be like, I'll do the topics. But then like it came up again and I was like, oh, maybe this should be the week where I just don't do any topics. I just randomly do like a card reading and whatever comes out is gonna come out type of thing. The typical thing they be saying. Ooh, okay, so we're gonna start. I am the ultimate. I am the one who... Okay. I love this deck right here. I finally figured out how to efficiently, shuffle it. Because it's so big, and then just the way, I don't know. Well, yeah. Bottom of the deck for the clarification cards is the Fool card. Top of the deck used, you're watching this right now, is the Seven of Wands. Yeah, you gotta like, there's something about setting boundaries and like, you're setting boundaries, needing to protect your path, protect like what you know, protect your peace. And there may be some conflict that may be coming up, and it may be like, throwing people off their balance, an attempt to, or, maybe throwing people off. You just gotta like stay grounded. Protect your coins, protect your path, protect your prosperity, protect what you know, and protect your peace, and set boundaries. Because it's ascension time. Bottom of the deck, which is a summary of all of that, is the Resistance card. Top of the deck, you're watching this right now, is Sacred Space. Okay, so there's something here about choice, decisions, balance, something here about stability, resources, value, and worth. Maybe there could be something about the senses and all this stuff. Something about your senses being thrown off or whatever. And that's crazy because, I don't know. I said something about your path. And then, like, when I said senses, in my head, what randomly came up was when, like, the dogs getting thrown off the dogs scents or whatnot. And then when you, like, walk by water and all that stuff. There's a whole thing with slavery, too. Like, knowing how to, like, throwing off an animal's sense of scents or whatever, like their scent or whatever, something like that. I hope you understand what I'm saying. It sounded like babbling, but yeah, something about that. Like senses, like smell, taste, seeing, and all that stuff. And then something about like an attempt to throw your sense off, or some type of attempt to throw somebody's senses off or senses off. And then like the whole thing, I only think about slavery because like, that happened during slavery and everything like that. And then and other things that I've seen and everything, where like if you go by go by water, and like, the dogs, the hunting dogs, the hounds, like attempted to track somebody who's running away, you walk by water or whatever, and it throws off their sense or whatever. Something like that. There's something here about changes, something here about expressing yourself, something about children, like your children or just children in general, or your childhood or inner child. Something here about fun, brightness. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, and then like that's random. So like the whole thing with choices and something about like I don't know if this is like you or it could be you, it could be anybody else. It could be some type of energy, a situation, whatever. But it's like switching up choices. Something here is like switching up choices. It could be, and it's like a strategy to throw people off, type of thing. Like people think somebody's going one way, but you switch up the decision or whatever. So it's changes in decision, or whatnot, change in plan, throwing people off. I wonder if your ancestors are telling you to throw people off by like shifting like that, or whatever. Being unpredictable, I guess. There's something about maybe the safety or like the stability of your children and everything like that. Maybe there's something about your choices, your life choices, decisions, and something about worth. Okay. And then we have what, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, moving forward, expanding, ascending. There's some ascension going on. Growth, building up, and all that stuff. Progression. Some of you could be like ascending, or some of you could be there's some type of spiritual movement, or some of you are actually moving, like you're actually traveling or moving. That's very interesting. There's just something about like path and moving and traveling, but like throwing like the people's senses off, or like throwing people off as you're traveling. But yeah, something about chat is here about ascension. So it could be like spiritual movement, which is like to me like ascending. There could be like some type of expansion or something that you're probably trying to grow. And then also, some of you could be traveling or like actually moving. And like, there's something about being thrown off. Like, again, like, the first time I see it, it looks like, I feel like you guys just need to be very stable. Be balanced, know what your stuff is. Like, be sure about what your stuff is. Be balanced in that. Your decisions and everything like that. Um, I don't know if like people are gonna try to throw you off, or like there's just the energy of being thrown off, and it's like with like conflict coming up, and then it's like being thrown off by because of the conflict, by the conflict, whether it's intentional or not intentional, whatever. And then yeah, you need to also be balanced so that there is no conflict that comes up. Be balanced and stable. Something about attacking someone's worth, or attacking the worth of something. Also, that's what I mean. You could throw people off, or whatnot. There's something about throwing people off, and like I guess like overcoming some type of conflict by like flipping, like switching up your plans, or switch like if somebody's onto you, like kind of switching up. And then randomly also like if somebody's like always following you, they know your schedule and all that stuff, like switching it up, like switching up where you go. You go this way all the time, you switch it up so that like something like onto you. That's interesting. Whether it's spiritually or it's for real. Y'all be safe out there with some serious stuff. I don't know. Sounds very serious. And yeah, something about protecting your path, protecting the direction that you're going in, and everything like that. Yeah, securing, and it feels like worth and value. Securing and guarding, protecting like who you are, because you know who you are. You know who you are. You know whatever this is. You know. You just know. So not being like thrown off. And then there's something about being smart about something, calculated risk. Being smart about something, calculated risk. And there's something about like boundaries, or I feel like doing something, and it could be maybe a risk or something, but it's like strategizing a little bit. It's very interesting because I feel like the Seven of Swords energy. But anyways, Dad, what came out is the Two of Coins in reverse, which is Two of Pentacles. Like either they're talking about some type of imbalance, and you need to get back on balance, or in some type of indecision, or like decision that's not balanced, and you gotta fix that or something. Or there's something about throwing off people with like your decisions and everything like that, or your decisions or your balance being thrown off somehow. And then bottom of the deck, the Two of Wands, which is a summary of the Two of Coins in reverse. Something about your path, something about your decision. You know, it could be also like your foresight, like your what you are visioning. What's your vision? I guess in life, or what's your vision when it comes to something. But yeah, something like your path, something about like you know who you are, kind of thing, and being very decisive. That's what I mean. There's something about like already, and you know the decision, you know your priorities, you know your path, or something like that. And yeah. Yeah, you know. And there's like this perfect balance of like emotional intelligence, or like yeah, having like emotional intelligence, or having some type of like faith, hope, or whatever. Um Being mature, but also like being having like this energy of like a child, exuberance and all that stuff. I don't want to say hope, but it's like faith. But it's like having emotional balance and being like realistic and everything like that, emotional intelligence. Um, while still like knowing that, while still knowing like there's more out there, I guess, to come, wonder and all that stuff. Top of the deck, usually watching this right now, is Queen of Swords. Something about being strict. You and then not only being strict, it's just like something about facts, and then what you call it, it's like have like being wise, like, ooh, I don't want to say that, like don't be, don't be silly, don't be silly, like you know you know you have the facts, you're wise, make wise decisions, also boundaries as well. Yeah, if you know better, so there's something about if you know better and everything like that, like, or whatever. Yeah, that, if you know better. And then hmm let me do one more. Yeah, I feel like there needs to be boundaries, and heavy boundaries, and just being wise. And I feel like you know better. Um, two of the coins, Two of coins in reverse. Oh, to clarify, the Two of coins in reverse, the Three of Wands, the Five of Swords, and the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, so it's time to go. It's time to do better. You know, I have in the playlist where it's like music mentioned, and on my in the playlist on my YouTube channel page, there's this playlist I had that says music mentioned in readings, right? If I, I'll do it. I'll just link it in the comments after I post it. There could be, this is a song by Ab Soul called I forgot what it is called, but he goes, I gotta do better, I gotta do better, I gotta do better, I gotta do better, I gotta. So there's something about it's like time to grow, something about moving forward and everything like that. And I'm telling you, there could be like some type of conflict or whatever. But you need to stay grounded, protect your coin, protect your energy, stay be very stable as stuff happen. It was giving me that whole thing where, like, changes are happening and all that stuff. The winds have changed, so the energy is starting to move. So you just gotta like, as the energies are moving and all that stuff, just don't get sidetracked. And remember, no, don't get sidetracked basically. And we have here risk. The clams on the rock presented an interesting opportunity for the daring crow. Despite the raging waves that threatened to pull the crow into the water, the bird held its position long enough to grab a piece of clam meat. You may need to assess if the reward is worth the risk, and if it is, now may be the time to take a chance on something you desire. Risk brings to your awareness an opportunity that others might forego out of fear. As a result, you may discover that this is less competition, opening the door for you to succeed more easily. Yo, in that, in you saying in this saying that, yo, that's what I mean. Like, if there is something that's going on, or like that you're going towards, and like just be careful of like, just energies, people, whatever, saying like, oh look, you can't do that, or like, oh, I've seen that many times before, I've been through that many times before, you can't go that way, or blah blah blah. If you are guided to and that's your path, like, and that's your like path and everything like that, be careful of like energies like throwing you off by saying like, oh, you can't go this way, you can't do that, or something, whatever. If you're supposed to take the risk, take the risk, of course, be calculated and everything like that. But that's wild. I don't even know if that song really relates to what I'm saying, but it's a song by What It Takes by Aaron May. But yeah, if you want to look that up, I'm not gonna put it in the playlist. I like him a little bit. I don't really listen to him that much. But yeah. Yeah, it's like What It Takes. It's like, oh, like, you can't do that. Like, that's not going to work. Da, da, da. Maybe you have some type of, like, vision or foresight or whatever that is not like everybody else's own. And you are you versus, you know, other people, whatever. What works for you may not work for other people. If you understand what I'm saying or whatever. But yeah, things may be just popping up and stuff like that, whether situations, people, whatever it is, and may throw you off. But I feel like just stay very grounded and stay on the path you are. Keep that vision, hold that vision or whatever in your head very hard, and be smart about it. And I feel like you know better as well. You may get your own guidance or whatever from the ancestors or something, or whoever it is. But like, you know better, because you should trust your guidance first, before anybody else. Anyways, there are no signs here. All right, we're gonna do 3 charms, and yeah. Okay, we gotta put it back, cause okay, let's try that again. Okay. Okay, we have here Venus, the planet Venus. It rules Libra and Taurus, and it could be what you call it? It could be like marketing. It could also be like looks and everything like that. It could be love, relationships, whether it's like platonic, romantic, friendship, yeah, platonic, romantic, or family, something like unions and all that stuff, friendship. Yeah, it could also mean like money as well. Yeah, harmony and balance. And it's over by the balance, so it could be most likely that for the most part, balance. Something about harmony and everything. Yeah. Yeah, your harmony and your balance and your way of things does not have to be like what everybody else's is, type of thing. But yeah, we have here Dragonfly, the bad omen, the bad meaning, and it has the number sequence 1010. It has the zodiac sign Gemini here. Then it says confusion. Something may have been built on lies or illusion. I feel like one of the readings recently said that. Inner rebalance, destruction of harmony and needing to start over again. Lessons, life lessons. Yeah, there's something about tidying up, and then yeah, it's something about you know better, and then it's something also like a little bit that it gives me like when it says confusion, something may have been built on lies or illusions. It's not like, oh my god, built on lies and illusions. Ah, it's giving me that whole thing where I was saying too, like sometimes people are so focused on like the outside world or like social media and stuff like that, like they don't actually know what they want, like what they are their path they're going down, and what they thought that they like or they think that they like was all programming from like the outside world, from like social media, from social norms and shit like that. So it's like I guess I don't know if somebody's gonna have an ego death or something like that, but like it says destruction of harmony and needing to start over again. There's something about rebalance when it comes to that. Maybe like reevaluating. Yeah, there's gonna be I guess reevaluating and maybe and all that stuff. You know better or whatever. And I was gonna give an example, but I don't feel like it because like I don't think it would be a good one. But anyways, we have here transcend, the word transcend, which is a verb meaning be or go beyond the range or limits of something abstract, typically a conceptual field or division. To surpass, to go further, rise above, or be more important or better than something, especially a limit. Yeah. And then it's over by the Three of Wands and all that stuff. Yeah, there's something about transcending, going beyond, and I feel like it's like going beyond the social norms, going beyond like the normal bull nana. That's hilarious. I'm like bull nana, and look what came out, bull. But like, um, I don't even know how to describe this without going into a hole right now. It's like going beyond, like I could just say it in short, like it could be other things or like just societal things. Something about normies, you know, normies and muggles and all that stuff. Anyways, we have here bold, the bad of the bad meaning. It says blinded by loss, hurt, possibly in love, moving and doing things, such as intentions, out of anger, anxiety, fear, negative emotions. Something could be fear mongering and all that stuff. Vengeful, acting without reflecting first, and then reflect in love before making decisions. Movement. There's a lot of things that's coming up for that. Buzz over here too. I just feel like you be grounded. You be grounded with yourself. And I'm telling you, just because everybody is going this way, and then like a lot of things are happening, be careful of getting caught up in that like storm, that winds of change. This has like rough waters, but the as I read in it in the book or whatever, the crow is still focused on getting that clam, because that crow's gonna eat, you know what I mean, you gotta eat. But and then I just see Five of Swords as like winds of change, so like through that turbulence, like stay focused. We must stay focused. Be careful of like fear mongering, or like I'm telling you, like just, I guess there's gonna be some type of expansion or some type of movement energetically and all that stuff. Be careful of fear mongering, whether it's like from social media, news, outside world, from people that you know, da da da. Be careful of like psyching yourself out or something like that. Something I feel like you just need to follow your guidance. Follow the guidance of your ancestors, whoever you follow, whatever. And like things may be shifty and stuff like that, but I feel like it might be a rewiring, or you may need to rewire something, rebalance something to what your true essence is. Yes. And protect it forever. Forever, ever. And this could, like I said, be primarily about just like balance, harmony in general in your life or something like that. It could also be like with like, I feel like a union. The fact that it says something like that here again in there, it could be something about like a union. Whether it's like with platonic friends, romantic relationships, or family. So that's that for this week's Mercury Day Energy Reading. There's no topic. Yeah, that's that for this week's Mercury Day Energy Reading. If you would like a personal reading, you can visit my link tree. You can email me. This type of thing. Time details will be in the description box for you to see. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. It's very much appreciated. It's helpful, and peace out. Oh my gosh. Trying to make me prove that I'm a man. I'm cooler than the freezer. I'm cooler than the fan. Trying to trick me out my spot. Trying to make me prove that I'm the man. I'm cooler than the freezer. I'm cooler than the fan. Yes. Come through, currency. Yes, trying to trick you out your spot. Trying to make you prove that you're the man. You're cooler than the freezer. You're cooler than the fan. It's called Freezer by Currency, by the way. Okay. All right. So yeah, peace out.